All right, good morning, everybody. Looks like we have a quorum. Not in the room, but combine that with online, we're good to go. And so let's go ahead and call to order the people in the room and online.
Okay, in the room, we've got Mayor Church, Ms. Tidwell, City Council, and Mayor Hopkins online.
We have Mayor Mindy O'Neill of the city. We got Lauren Little of DOT Northern Region. We got Nick Zarnecki from DEC and Scott Press from the Borough Assembly. So we've got all 7 of us here. Thank you, everybody. And we've got ourselves a quorum. Introduction of guests. To send us a say hi.
Sure. I'm John Natardis with DOT Design.
Thanks, John. In the room,
Jackson Fox with Fast Planning.
Olivia Lunsford, Fast Planning.
And Corey Thurley on Fast Planning.
all right, well, we've got a quorum and guests and staff. So let's go ahead and approve the May 8th agenda for today. We've got it on front of me. If people have it online, is there any comments? Please throw my order of operations back to public.
Yep, sorry, I forgot.
That's okay. So with that, do I have a motion to approve the agenda for today?
So moved.
Moved by Church, seconded by Tidwell. Any comments? Seeing none. Let's go ahead and take a roll call real fast on that.
Sure, Mayor Church.
Yes.
Ms. Tidwell.
Yes.
Mayor Hopkins.
Yes.
Mayor O'Neill.
Yes.
Mr. Zarnecki.
Yes.
Ms. Little.
Yes.
And Mr. Kraus.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. That passes unanimously for the agenda. On to the public comment period. With that, do we have anybody here who would like to make public comments on anything whatsoever addressing fast planning?
That's not listed as an action item.
That's not listed on an action item. Thank you, yes. Ms. Hall, Yvette Hall, would you like to comment about anything?
No, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. With that, we are gonna go ahead and close public comment. And on to old new business, number 5. Approval of construction increase for Chena Lake Rec Area, accessed by a Plaque Road project in the amount of $655,145. This is an action item, so we'll go ahead and flip to page 2 of our packet and ask for a staff report from Mr. Fox.
Thank you, Mayor Hopkins. Yeah, so I have a staff memo here included on page 2 of the packet. I'll run through this real briefly in the supporting materials. But for the Chena Lake Recreation Area access via Plaque Road project, we had programmed $3.1 million, a combination of carbon reduction program dollars and congestion mitigation and air quality dollars for this project. That was based on the latest engineer's estimate prior to this project going out to bid. The bids came back. They came back higher than engineer's estimate. And the new combined amount to deliver this to construction and award that contract based on that low bid and an increase to the construction engineering budget, which is a % of the contract, that raises the bar up to about 3.8 million. So we have a difference of 655,000 to add to this project so that the contract can be awarded. Based on that amount, it does require policy board approval. I can approve construction increases up to 250,000. Then the technical committee approves construction increases between 250 and 500, but provided this is over 500, we need the board to make a decision on this here today. On the next page, page 3, this is the request from DOT for the additional funds via email. John Natardis is the DOT project manager for this project, and he is available today if you have any questions or to explain why there might be a difference between the engineer's estimate and the bids that were received. Page 4 shows you our policy on approval authority for project funding increases. Again, if the construction increase is over 500,000, that does require your approval. Page 5, these are the technical committee action items from Wednesday, just a couple days ago. We have prepared an administrative modification to our transportation improvement program or our short-term funding plan, which includes this increase, and the technical committee did review this increase as well as others on Wednesday, and they did recommend your approval. Page 7 shows you a summary of all of the changes that will be included as part of this administrative modification. This full list of changes you will consider approval at your May 20th meeting. But I have highlighted that today we're only looking for your approval for the one project, Chino Lake Recreation Area bike and pedestrian access via Plaque Road. To kind of explain how I came up with an extra 650,000, I did a couple things. One thing was that I reduced the budget of the Fairbanks North Pole electric vehicle charging stations. Based on the bundle that the policy board approved, we do not need 1.7 million for construction, so I dropped that down to $1 million. Also, we are out of money in 2026 for these different fund categories, so I needed to borrow money from 2027 to pay for this increase. It's an advanced construction tool. So another thing I did was I used advanced construction on the University of Alaska compressed natural gas fueling station. So that is going to be funded in 27 with $28, and this increase is going to be funded with $27 and 26. So it's a and I'll show you that here. Let's see, page 10 in the packet on the very bottom part there. You can see at the bottom where I am borrowing money for 27 to pay for this increase in 26. And I think the last two things I'll state, so that our funding plan remains to be fiscally constrained with my funding magic, and the amount of match that is available for this project that was provided by the borough is sufficient at this time to cover this increase. So at this time, we don't need to go back to the assembly for more match money to be able to award this contract. And John, do you have anything to add or correct anything I misstated?
Not really. Good morning, Mayor, Lauren. I don't really have anything to add unless y'all have questions. The increase in the bids came in, and this is what we're dealing with. The project's a really good one. If you take a look at the plans or whatever, it's gonna extend the paving on Plaque Road and put the parking lot in there and the new path down to the other, beach area. And we want to get that done this summer. So the special meeting, getting the money out there and awarding the contract as soon as possible would be really nice, so we can get a contractor working on it.
Thank you, John.
Yep.
Any questions for staff or DOT on this? Ms. Little?
Yeah, just to clarify, Jackson, the action that's needed from policy board is only for the Chino Lake cost increase. It's not for the entire tip mod, correct?
That is correct. For the purposes of this special policy board meeting, we are only asking you to act upon the singular project for Chino Lake.
Does that clarify the question? Or, okay,
It does. I just want to make sure we had the right motion when the time came.
great, thank you. Any other questions? So the bids came in high. Do we know, were there other bids that came in higher than this, and this is just purely the low bid?
Yes, this is the lowest of the higher bids. If that makes sense, and I can speculate as to why. We looked into why they came in higher, and we think it's due to the possibly temporary increase in oil prices right now, which affect all the pavement and oil items, as well as any item that includes hauling or moving materials, which is a lot of this project. And one contractor we suspected would bid did not bid, and they have a pit right next to the project. So
So if the war ends tomorrow and everybody's peaceful and the price of oil goes back down to $70, do we get our money back, or do they keep this additional dollars?
we do not get our money back. There might be some in an asphalt material price adjustment, but we're not gonna.
So if the asphalt price drops precipitously tomorrow,
We still pay this amount, yep, for the project.
okay. Were you able to, will we be able to see their line item costs here shortly and see if that is?
Oh, I've reviewed it, yes.
And that's what it is.
That is what it is, yeah.
Did you see that similarly with the other bids too? Like that specific line item went up across the board, or were there other things that increased?
Yes, it was the bulk of the oil and any item that you have to haul, like borrow material, dirt, stuff like that.
Has this one been awarded? I feel like
No, we are in the certification process, so we bid it and we received our bids back, and we have the low bid, and we're trying to award it right now.
okay.
Sort
Has that been announced?
of. The apparent low bidder,
Yeah.
Lauren, is that get announced out to?
I just,
Public.
the reason I mentioned it, I thought that I had seen this one go to exclusive.
They are,
If that was the case, I wanted to mention that you guys probably need to weigh in if I have a conflict of interest to vote on it, because exclusive is one of the contracts that I represent at our meeting. And I just wanted to make sure you guys knew that.
that is correct. Exclusive is the apparent low bidder.
We're not awarding the bid here. We are just changing the allocation amount, so I don't see a conflict there. If we were voting on that, maybe, but we'd have to look at our rules at that point. So, Ms. Little, do you have a question?
I just wanted to clarify procedurally, so the apparent low bidder has been made, as John said, procedurally, we're working through what's called the bid award recommendation. One step of that is our project control chiefs have to sign off that we have sufficient legislative authority, sufficient funding in place. Line item costs cannot be shared. That line item, bid item by bid item costs cannot be shared until the intent to award is issued. We can't issue the intent to award until we've completed that bid award rec process. So we just need to be careful about the level of detail that we discuss any sort of cost comparison between bidders, because that is confidential information until the intent to award goes out.
All right, I appreciate that. We had a similar discussion at the Borough Assembly a couple weeks ago, so, and it was a similar thing. We won't actually see for this case with the animal shelter, why those costs came in lower, in a wonderful way, so. All my questions have been answered. I guess one more, how many bids did come in on this, do you know?
I think are 4 or 5.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions before we make a motion and move along? We should have made a motion before. Do I have a motion to award or to approve the increase in the budget?
If I may, please, I'd like to make a motion to approve the construction increase for Chino Lakes Recreation Area Access via Plaque Road project in the amount of $655,145.
I have a motion from Church, second from Tidwell. Thank you very much. And now policy discussion amongst policy members. Ms. Little, you got your hand up?
I believe we needed to do a quick call for public comment before motion.
Yeah, I'm all out of order. Do we have public comment on this? Seeing none, go ahead and close public comment. Now, is there further discussion among policy members? All right, seeing none, let's go ahead and vote on the main motion.
Mayor Church,
Yes.
Ms. Tidwell?
Yes.
Mayor Hopkins?
Yes.
Mayor O'Neill?
Yes.
Mr. Krass?
Yes.
Ms. Little?
Yes.
And Mr. Zarnecki?
Yes.
All right, 7-0, thank you very much. Let's see, that passes and we are on to 5B. Grant awards for the new transportation or community transportation grant program. That will go ahead and get a staff report from whichever staff wants to report.
Yeah, I'll kick us off here. So as shown on page 14, we had an open call for project applications for a new community transportation grant program from April 1st to April 28th. And after receiving those applications, we forwarded them on to our project enhancement committee members, as well as the scoring rubric that we created. So over the past week or so, they have been scoring those projects, and we held a meeting with that committee yesterday here in our office from 12 to 1 p.m. In total, we received 8 applications, and as outlined on this sheet here, not every committee member scored those applications. A few committee members just kind of did a yes, no. But in the absence of score, we just simply showed you what their sentiment was or what their score was. So these are now assembled in priority order, 1 through 8, for potentially awarding these small grants. They decided to award the top, or they didn't decide, they recommended to the policy board to award the top 5 applications. 2 of the applications for the Children's Museum and Yellow Bird Yoga, they recommended that those applications be refined and submitted next year if this program continues. And then we did have one applicant withdraw their application because based on the timeline of when they would potentially receive the funds, their program would already be over with. So real briefly here, the top 5 projects are, one is from Festival of Fairbanks, painting artistic sidewalks and sidewalk art at the intersection of First Avenue and Lacey Street, so down near the starter block. There was another application by the Esther Volunteer Fire Department and Esther Community Association to install a bike rack and bike repair station out at Esther Park. And then the Fairbanks Skate Park Coalition would like to set up a mobile skate park at Lacey Street in the starter block. Local middle school, Randy Smith, their PTA applied for reflective tape for 300+ students. And then we had a second application from Festival of Fairbanks to kind of reinvigorate the Fairbikes fleet, which is actually stored in a building right near the starter block, but to expand that fleet of rental bikes and repair existing bikes that haven't been in use the past couple of years. And with these applications here, there, as you'll see on the right-hand side, there was an award request, and then there's an award recommendation. A couple of those were adjusted by the committee yesterday. For the Esther Park bike rack and bike repair station, committee members thought that the amount requested may not be sufficient to complete the full scope of work in which they proposed. They recommended an increase in that by 1,000. And then for the Randy Smith PTA application, they only asked for $200 for some reflective tape. And so the committee thought that we could increase that amount up to 1,000 so that they can do more. Rather than reflective tape, it could be reflective armbands, it could be safety vests, it could be, you know, reflective stickers for their backpacks, but just do a little bit more with that. So, and we have every bit of confidence that if we gave them $1,000, they'd come up with something to invest in those students for safety gear. So, but that's where they drew the line at 19,000. Again, the policy board has approved up to 20,000 for awards. And again, this is just their recommendation. And you all can award whichever projects at whichever amount you would like.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Any questions for staff on that? Ms. Little?
Yeah, I had some questions about some of these, like the painting artistic crosswalks and sidewalk art. You know, these are Title 23 roads that require MUTCD compliance. Has anyone evaluated whether or not some of those, particularly the Lacey Street ones, are going to run into federal issues in terms of, you know, we've accepted federal money for Lacey Street in the past, and so it's now a Title 23 road. Those ones jumped out at me. And then did I miss it? Were the applications included in the packet? I wasn't able to find those to sort of see what the details were on some of these, particularly the Lacey Street ones that I kind of had questions about MUTCD compliance.
No, we did not include those in the packet. We simply included in the packet the application materials and program overview. I think the application materials in total are 100 pages or so. So we can make those available to you. And of course, if you all wish, you can postpone this decision to the May 20th meeting if you would like to review each of those applications in more detail prior to making a decision. But as far as your question about the asphalt and concrete art on Lacey Street, that would of course have to be approved by the city engineer. We don't believe that the sidewalks would be an issue, but the project enhancement committee, they did discuss how artwork in the crosswalk may be of an issue. But again, that would be a city engineer determination.
Did that answer your question, Ms. Little?
Yep, that's helpful. Thanks, Jackson.
All right, thank you for that. Any other questions or comments for staff? Mike, my quick one, how did the notices for this award go out? I just didn't see them anywhere, but there's a good return on them, so. How did we post that this grant application process is out there now?
you know.
You mean the opportunity to apply?
Yes.
Okay, that'd be Olivia.
Yeah, we did social media, so we always post on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and then we did paid advertisements with KUAC. And that's always a little bit tricky because they can't throw out like funding numbers. They can say like, go to Fast Planning to learn about the Community Transportation Grant Program.
Yeah.
And then I did an on-air radio interview with Roger Garnett for the iHeartMedia stations, and that was on the drive at 5, I think on Thursday of the week that they launched. And then we also had a notice in the paper, and I think that about, oh, and then we did a little podcast. We're starting a podcast at Fast Planning, but Corey and I did a podcast and also posted that on the webpage, so.
And the Fast
QR
Planning
codes,
newsletter.
flyers, Fast Planning newsletter.
Yep.
And we did flyers. We distributed the flyers via email for people to print and put in their workplace. And then we also directly emailed North Star Community Foundation. We emailed the school district to let the PTAs know. And then I sent some targeted emails to people who asked me to let them know when it launched.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Thank you, that's wonderful outreach. I probably did see it now that I think of it, but
Yeah, it's,
Good morning.
we're doing a lot.
Thank you
over
for all
here,
that.
So, yeah, it just kind of fell off, but there were people that were very excited to know.
any other questions for staff? Seeing none, I'll go ahead and remember to open the public comment period this time. Any public comment? Seeing none, go ahead and close public comment. Do I have a motion to award do I have a motion to award the Community Transportation Grant Program applications?
Motion to award.
Motion to award the community grant applications made by Tidwell. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Mayor O'Neill. Do we have any discussion on these applications? Seeing none, I will go ahead and just say, I just realized right now that the bike program called Fair Bikes is actually a pun on Fairbanks. It's taken me the entire time since those bikes have been floating around for the last like 10 years or so to realize that. So
You just thought it was equity-based transportation.
I was like, well, this is Fair Bikes.
Fair.
Yeah. That's a silly name, and now, yeah, apparently I'm bad at dad jokes. So, with that, do we know any other comments? Oh, Mayor O'Neill.
Thank you, Mayor Hopkins. I wanted to thank the staff for this opportunity for our community. I think that these are really cool projects, and sometimes just $3,000 to $5,000 makes a big difference in getting a project over the line. And I smiled really, really big when I saw like reflective tape, and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. So I just want to express my appreciation for your work in that, and excited to see these improvements in our community.
I will echo that. Excellent. With no further comments, would you like to vote on the motion? Mr. Fox, you want to run us down?
Ms. Tidwell,
Yes.
Mayor Hopkins.
Yes.
Mayor Turch.
Yes.
Mayor O'Neill,
Yes.
Mr. Kraft.
Yep.
Ms. Little,
Yes.
and Mr. Zarnecki.
Yes.
All right, 7-0, we move on from that one as well. Now on to 5C, authorization to retain an Alaska Fellow. This is on page 27 of your packet. Mr. Fox, take it away.
Yeah, it's because on page 27 on the packet. So during our last budget cycle for Fast Planning's office, we discussed the idea with the board of retaining an Alaska Fellow for the 2026 to 2027 school year, pretty much September through May. We have been in regular communication with the Alaska Fellows Program to take a look at that and discuss with them, are we a good fit for this program? Are they a good fit for us? And in speaking with them, they offered us the opportunity to get added to the list for a potential fellow at Fast Planning with no financial commitment, because we didn't know, this is the first time we've ever done this, didn't know if we get good applicants or not, or if we wanted to switch to more of an intern here at the office to assist us over the next year. But when we put our name in the hat, we got 23 applications from all across the country. And in reviewing those, we narrowed the field down to 6 wonderful candidates. And over the past week, we have interviewed them all, and we've narrowed it down to 2 outstanding individuals that it's very, the 3 of us can't even, one day we say this person, next day we say this person, et cetera. So we have found a few very qualified candidates that would add value to our office here. But I did commit to the board that before proceeding with retaining an Alaska Fellow, that I would come back to the board for that approval. It is a financial commitment of $25,000 to retain that fellow for September through May of this upcoming year. In the hours that the fellow would work for us, or is not something that, provided that they're not technically on our payroll, we cannot bill that money to our grant. So it is $25,000 of undesignated funds that we would be expending for this program. To share with you some of the other local organizations and nonprofits that are participating in this program this year, beginning on page 32, you can see the full list. So from the Fairbanks area, as far as fellows are concerned, in town, we have the Fairbanks Economic Development Corporation, Tanana Chiefs Conference, the Alaska Center for Energy and Power, the Cold Climate Housing Research Center, the Folk School, Versailles Fast Planning, Nanook Recreation, UAF Student Health and Counseling Center, and a joint fellow for the city of Fairbanks and Fairbanks North Star Borough. So, and a lot of these organizations have participated in the past in the fellows program. It's new to us, but not new to other local organizations here in town. So today we're asking for your consideration of allowing us to move forward with an Alaska Fellow for September through May, and which would necessitate a budget increase of $25,000 for that upfront payment to retain one. That concludes my introduction.
Thank you very much. Any questions for staff on that?
Does the 25,000, does that goes to the program, and then the program gives them the stipend and stuff, or?
Yeah, so the fellow gets a monthly stipend of $1,200, but they also receive housing and their utilities are covered. So all the fellows that come to Fairbanks will live out at the Sustainable Village at the university. So yeah, their housing and the utilities are covered. I believe there's 3 houses, and they have 4 vehicles that are available for those 3 houses. There will be more than just 4 fellows, so they'll have to learn to share, sharing cooking dinner, doing dishes, sharing cars, all that. But yes, they get housing, and then monthly stipend of $1,200 for incidental expenses. So, but they would not receive a salary from us. But that's the 25,000 goes towards that program in general.
Any other questions? Ms. Little?
Yeah, so Jackson, I guess where does the 25,000 come from our budget, and do we have that available?
Yeah, so it would come from our 501c3 nonprofit undesignated funds, of which we have a balance of about $300,000 in undesignated funds. So these are strictly 501c3 dollars. There's no federal money, no state money, none of that involved. And through our AMLIP investment, we're making about $2,500 a month. Over time, this whole position is covered by the interest coming out of AMLIP. So I think we're in a very healthy position to do this.
And that same pot of money is what's paying for those community grants we just voted on as well, correct?
That's correct, yes.
Okay.
Any further question for staff? Seeing none, we're gonna open public comment. Any public comment? Seeing none, closing public comment. Do I have a motion to approve and authorize to retain or do I have a motion to authorize to retain an Alaskan Fellow for 26-27?
So moved.
Moved by Ms. Tidwell. I'll call you the second, Mayor O'Neill, if that's okay. And with that, discussion amongst policy board members. Mayor O'Neill.
Yeah, my comments are in a vote of support. The Cold Climate Housing Research Center, when I was the executive director, we hosted 3 of these Alaska Fellows in the last 2 years. They've been excellent. They are of high quality, and it's a really great program. They're well supported by their program. We have kept 2 of the 3 of them in Fairbanks. So it's a good recruitment tool to retain residents. So I'm glad that FAST is doing this, and I look forward to seeing their new fellow. Thanks.
Any further comments? Yeah.
What sort of task are you gonna have this fellow undertake?
So this is not a. So to be clear, this is not like an intern in our office that just does busy work. Okay, so they are very well educated, very well motivated. We do want them to participate in all of our committee and board meetings, at least be present to absorb how this whole process works, right? But then we want to hand off to them special projects. Like I have a wish list of things that I have not been able to get time to do. So does Olivia, so does Corey. We have a lot of new initiatives, a lot of new programs. And so we want to present that to the fellow and say, like, here's a list of 8 things. What are you passionate about on this list to pick up and start this program or start this initiative and then get to a finish line in 3 months or however long it may take. So part of it is them exploring some of their interests, but doing things that we simply just don't have time to accomplish because we have our base work, our base priorities. But there's all these great things, great ideas we have of doing things, and we need someone to just run with it and just do it. So working collaboratively with us, also working independently. So and it would be a very flexible schedule for them and offer them opportunity to do it remotely from the Sustainable Village, as well as here in person in the office. So we'll work with them for whatever needs that they may have.
You saw the city of Fairbanks and the city and the borough combining together to have one of these. These are college graduates, generally from Ivy League schools, but just schools across the country, but they're college graduates, so they have been educated and have their degree. They're here from September through May, I believe, and the one that we are looking at bringing on between the city and borough is for a public information officer addition to what my current public information officer does, plus what is similar work over at the city. So we're looking forward to that. This was a good reminder for the mayor, O'Neill, and myself to follow back up and get our interviews in so that we can get one as well. We're pretty excited to expand the capacity, and they're wonderful. They're all over the place in our community, and hopefully they stick around and stay and continue to add to our town. So with that, any other comments or discussion amongst board members? Seeing none, we have a vote.
Ms. Tidwell,
Yes.
Mayor Hopkins.
Yes.
Mayor Kirsch.
Yes.
Mayor O'Neill,
Yes.
Mr. Krass,
Yes.
Ms. Little,
Yes.
and Mr. Zarnecki.
Yes.
All right, so let it be written and let it be done. It is voted and approved unanimously. Policy board member comments. Number 6, do we have any comments from members of the policy board?
Yeah, I'd just like to echo Mayor O'Neill's comments about staff, and thank you for all the effort that you guys put in to bring these to us to make this happen for our community. It's really important, so thank you for that.
Very welcome. Thanks for showing up at 8:30 on a Friday.
Happy to be here.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Any other comments from board members? I'll just say, that international politics impacts our state, whether it's the price of oil or the cost of these projects. And seeing a 20% increase for paving projects here raises a substantial amount of concerns for potential project costs going forward this summer. That we see projects going on the road. So hopefully, federal dollars and state match are adequate to handle those. Hopefully we don't see additional 20% increases in paving projects, because we've got a lot of those around the state coming up really fast. So, and on a happy note, I also want to say thank you for the work you guys do, proactive ideas and things to get out, small projects, because as somebody said, $3,000 to $5,000 is a big deal for some of these projects. especially beautifying our town, and the combination of what Mayor O'Neill and the city of Fairbanks is looking at doing on Lacey Street, plus for this project is gonna be really fantastic, so thank you guys for that. Before I conclude, I think it's a Mayor O'Neill task, that I was told one of the Lacey Street signs, I believe is 4th and Lacey, is misspelled. It is Lacy and it's Lacey, so one of the two signs there is misspelled. So just FYI to your Public Works Department, it was brought to my attention at the senior recognition event, because leave it to seniors to notice all the important those issues, so. Yeah, thank you,
Like one
everybody.
of the street signs or one of the signs that says that it's closed?
One of the street signs,
Yeah,
like, says Lacey in 4th, and the Lacey is misspelled.
yep.
Cool. We're gonna blame that on the last mayor.
That works, it's been there since before October, so.
Yeah,
Or just have a previous mayor.
yeah. The one before him, probably.
There you go. All right, and so with that, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Move to adjourn, seconded, unanimous support. All right, thank you, everybody. At 9:08, we are adjourned.
Thank you, Chair.
Thanks, Evan.